Hello, I'm Dr. Sunny. Welcome to another edition of Rise and Shine with Dr. Sunny Fridge. I believe God's gift to us is life, and our gift to God is how we live our lives. Rise and Shine with Dr. Sunny is an opportunity for me to interview guests who are living their dreams. My guest today has a rags to riches story. She will share how she has turned her setbacks into comebacks, made her faith bigger than her fear, and she continues to live life with purpose, passion, and prosperity. Jeanhee Kang had to rise against and overcome many obstacles to get a high school education. In 1975, she left South Korea and came to America with $40 in her pocket. The 18-year-old Jeanhee hoped to find her second chance at life. The details of her captivating journey from a street peddler to a multi-million-dollar business owner are in her memoir, Meegook, Dry Bones. Welcome, Jeanhee Kang.
Hi.
How are you?
Great. Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. Now, before we talk about your book, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I am currently a real estate broker, and I speak around town, try to inspire young teenagers who may be living in my past life, and do many of the volunteering work, and try to make my book a movie.
What does Meegook mean?
Meegook means beautiful country, represents America. All Asians call America Meegook. Chinese, Japanese, Koreans, we use same language, and it means beautiful country.
Wow. Your life today is a far cry from growing up as the oldest of 5 children to poor rice farmers in Korea. Your book, Meegook, is filled with many defining moments. You said your happiest memories during your childhood was your birthday. Why?
We were so poor, just everyone was poor actually. So growing up, my first thing that on my mind was one day I'm going to be a fat Korean, because only the fat Koreans are rich. They got to eat lots of white rice. And on birthdays, that's how we knew, because there was no presents or anything like that, or happy birthday song. It's just that when I sit on breakfast table, there's all white steamy rice looking right at me. And that's how I knew that was my birthday. And that was my happiest day.
You also talk about praying to God as a 5-year-old.
We never really had anything to eat. My primary goal when I wake up was find something to eat, because what mama gave us was just not enough. And there was a mountain far away across the rice paddy, and on top of the mountain really looked like a human face looking straight up to the sky. And I thought, there could be a God that might hear my prayer. So whenever I'm hungry or sad, I'll look at the top of the mountain and thinking that that's my God. And I called him 하나님, means God. I said, give me some food, or, help me run away when I grow up. And it was just I never forgot that mountain top. And I always thought it would follow me everywhere.
How did you deal with the hunger? What did you eat?
Oh my gosh, I would eat anything that it was edible, didn't eat me first. I would eat grasshoppers, toss it in the fire. We would catch the rat and roast it. I would be in the field digging raw potatoes and just eat it right there, or corn right off the husk and eat it. And I spent a lot of time with a stomach ache because those were raw. And I would have to eat it without my mom finding out, because she doesn't want us to eat those. And like stealing an egg was just like a big risk, because no one was allowed to eat egg. It was sold so we can get money. So just like I remember I would stole an egg and hid it underneath the haystack for the longest time, and I found time to run away to the next town. I ran with the egg on my hand without breaking it so I can exchange it for candy. And there was like the sugar crash I'll never forget, and just ran back.
It seems that even at 5 years old, you knew you wanted to be more, do more, and have more. Talk about your encounter with a rich neighbor who lived up the hill.
At age 5, I remember there was one man in our small village of a 7 household, and he's the only one got to live in this beautiful big house built with real wood, not like mud like our house with a thatch roof. His house had real roof, and I was helping to plant rice, and I had leeches all over my leg because there was just a part of being in the muddy water planting rice. And there goes dam keeper. He came from out of town. No one knew his real name. We just called him dam keeper. And he was riding his bicycle, just driving through the rice paddy. And what it looks to me like he was looking straight at me. I dare you, you poor rice farming girl. Look at me, I made it. What about you? And he didn't have to speak to me loud. I just heard that, feel like he was talking to me. And I said, I want to be like him when I grow up. So I remember running home fast as I could after I took all the leeches off my leg, and I asked my mama, Mama, tell me about this dam keeper. How did he get that job? And she said pitifully, she didn't even want to answer at first. And she said, he went to high school from city to get that job. And that was my aha moment. It was like a light bulb just landed on my head. I said, that's what I need to do. I need to go to high school. No one in our village went to high school, but wherever that thing is, I was going at all cost.
Share with our audience what a dam keeper is. That's D-A-M, keeper.
We live in a little village that had 2 bridges going, one to the south, one going to the other side. And that is the point where dam gets to be open or closed for farmers. And this dam keeper, all he had to do, just by going high school, got to live in this beautiful house. And when he gets to open dam to get farmers to have water, and he closed when he's supposed to close. And that's why we call him dam keeper.
A year later, you finally convinced your mother to allow you to go to school.
I didn't think of myself as 5 years old because I was already doing men's work. My father never came home, so I was doing everything he was supposed to do. I was doing. I was the oldest girl of 5. So to me, age was not a problem. It was a problem. I needed to go to high school. So I would beg my mom every single day for an entire year. And she, first she tried to discourage me, saying, girls don't go to school. Besides, I need you here to help me. And I begged and begged. And finally, it just dawned onto her, maybe she thought, she got something here. Maybe she can send her daughter to school. Maybe she'll get a good job and help her. So 6 days after I turned 6 years old, that she said, she gave me bath. We never had a bath. It was March. Korean school starts in March 1st. And it was snow. I can see ice all over. She'll boil this water and put me in this clay pot and scrub me, and it was hurting so bad because I'd never been scrubbed, and used real soap, which is very expensive. And she washed my hair, but my hair was so tangled because I never brushed my hair, and lice all over my hair, just coming everywhere. And she tried to take lice out of my hair. It was an impossible task. She tried to comb through it. Comb didn't go through. and she tried to catch a few with lices, and she killed it with her thumbs, just crushed it. And then I cried and cried, and I said, my hair, I don't have to have a hair comb, it hurts. So she stopped, and she found the clothes that had at least the holes to dress me up. And we walked 10 miles to elementary school, which I call it high school because that was the door that I wanted to get in to go to high school. So I walked in. I was the youngest, dirtiest, skanky girl you ever seen. An entire 83 kids, I remember, staring at me, stopped chattering. And I'm like, I'm here. And I'm here to stay. And I didn't care how I looked.
What was being in school like? Did you have a hard time catching up to the kids?
To me, it wasn't about studying. It was about the idea that I had in my little head that I need to be like a dam keeper. That means I have to be in school. And whole project every day we had to do homework. But teachers don't realize I have to go home and help my mama catch up the work that I missed while I was in school. So a lot of time, I don't know how to do homework. My mama had a 3rd grade education. She doesn't know how to help me, and I quit asking her. And by the time after I work and tired, at night we had one little kerosene light, the lamp that we could use. And even that kerosene we had to buy, so we had to save. So I could only use it for a short time. And I remember studying underneath and what I could answer, what I couldn't finish. And lots of time I turned it in blank next day. And teacher would beat me on my calf with a homemade wooden stick. And of course it's bruised, and my mama would catch me and say, what did you do wrong? I said, don't worry, Mama, it didn't hurt me one bit. I didn't bother to tell her. I didn't turn in homework or things like that. She didn't need to know that.
Fast forward to 1973, you're in 10th grade, 16 years old. It was a period of rebellion. You broke a Korean taboo. It led to you being expelled from school. What happened?
Back then in 70s, Korea was still way back behind time, and girls must stay pure until wedding night. She must be virgin. And there was no dating, there's no boy talking girls. It was a forbidden period. And I broke taboo by meeting a boy. And it was a rebellious time because I was a good student, good girl, until one day several of my girlfriends and I were at the park, and we were away from boys, but we were actually watching what boys were doing from distance, but really never really talked to those boys. But one of the neighbor boy came and asked me about my sister, and I didn't like that tone because I told him that you are not good enough for my sister, and that made him angry. And I didn't think of much about it, but I came home after that park day, and my mom and my dad was at this wooden gate and fuming. I could tell they were very upset with me. And I walked in, and my dad slapped my face and said, "You whore, you kissed the boy at the park," and just shocked me. I didn't know what to say at first, because first of all, I never thought of kissing a boy, and second of all, I would never do that. And I was accused, and now he's calling me names that I never wanted to be called. And I looked at my mother, and she was not going to defend me, and that was, to me, that was a betrayal, because all those years I did everything my mom told me to do: field work, rice planting, anything that my dad didn't do, I was there as her right-hand girl. And I wanted her to bail me out at that point, to defend me, and she wouldn't do it. And I cried to sleep that night. They didn't wake me up dinner time. I just cried and cried and fell asleep. And I woke up middle of the night and I said, okay, I'm gonna revenge. I'm going to show them that I am really that person my dad called me. So I went to neighbor boy's house and asked him to take my virginity, and that led me to be pregnant soon. And I went to abortion clinic. I didn't have money. My girlfriend loaned. Actually, she had a golden ring. Her parents, she was wealthy. Her parents gave a golden ring for one of her birthday. She pawned that ring to pay for my abortion. So she and I went to abortion clinic and then had an abortion. And the whole town found out that I had an abortion. The next day, next few days after, I was expelled from high school. And that was the end of my dream, that I was going to be a dam keeper. My dream just died at that point.
How devastating was that for you?
I think all the more I was ruined because I was no longer virgin, and I could live with that. I could live with it, never get to marry men. I could live with that. But when I was expelled from high school, I could not live with that. That was not going to happen. I wanted to go back to high school at any cost. I didn't care what I had to do, and I was going back to high school, but not in Korea, because someone like me that ruined life will never be accepted to high school or a second chance. I was a so-called gone girl to Koreans, and I had to find a way to get out of Korea if I wanted a second chance, if I wanted to go back to high school.
I understand that taboo breakers are given two choices.
Well, taboo breaker, especially what I did, was I had two choices: either drink rat poison to die, or disappear from whole entire village and never come back. And I know a lot of girls kill themselves for shame, but I wasn't gonna kill myself. I chose to go somewhere and never come back. And I decided I'll do anything. And I figured it out that maybe I can go to America. And I found a way. I ran away and went to GI town, 4 hours away from my home. And I stole money to buy a one-way ticket to get there. And I sold myself to brothel to sell my life, my soul, to earn that chance to go to America, to go to high school.
You actually met your first husband. He would give you the opportunity to come to America.
So I was a teenager prostitute and selling myself for $20 a night. And while that time I met my husband, he was 2 years older than me, 19 years old, just came to Korea. He was a young boy, and I was a young girl. Somehow it feels like we had a common. We were both kids, and even though I didn't speak English, he made a joke somehow to make things that I could understand by using hand gesture or a facial movement or things like that. And we just hit it off, and we got married like 6 months after we met. And as soon as we got married, I knew what I wanted to go, where I wanted to go. And he was still in the Air Force. He could not come to America yet. He had to finish his tour. And I begged him, just like I did beg my mom when I was 5 years old to send me to high school. I begged him to send me to America. I want to go to high school. I want to go to high school. And he figured it out. I was never going to stop begging. And he found some money to pay for a plane ticket to send me to his mother's house.
Wow.
Before you left, you called your mama to let her know that you were finally going to America. What did you tell her?
I called my mama that I was going to America and I'm going to high school. And one day when I become rich, I'm going to send her lots of money so she doesn't have to work.
And make all her friends jealous.
Yes, and I told her that you can tell all your friends that how rich your daughter became, so you can make them jealous. She liked that.
You got to America, you met your mother-in-law, and within 12 hours, you were an 11th grader in Mexico High School in Missouri.
And when I left, I had a set of a dictionary, English to Korean, Korean to English, and 4 notebooks, 4 erasers, 4 pencils. I believe the next morning when I woke up, I had all these things in my bag, and I remember asking my mother-in-law, send me to high school, and she was shocked, and says, aren't you tired? No, not tired. So she registered me to 11th grade and didn't speak a word of English, but I could understand a little bit. And I remember I was in the wrong page every time, and teachers come and find the right pages. But, when I got to the 11th grade classroom, I said, watch me, Korean people, Koreans, I'm here, I made it. I was so happy, so happy.
Wow. The book is called Meegook. You can find it on Facebook, Amazon, and wherever books are sold. You can also reach Jeanhee at facebook.com/Meegook. That's all the time we have on this edition of Rise and Shine with Dr. Sunny. I want to thank my guest, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and author, Jeanhee Kang. And stay tuned for Rags to Riches, a true story, part 2 of my interview with Jeanhee Kang. Find out how she overcomes 3 failed marriages and how a segment about domestic violence on the Oprah Winfrey Show became the aha moment Jeanhee needed to make a life-changing decision.
Until that time, I had no idea why I was in an abusive relationship and I couldn't leave. But she explained to me through the TV that women remain in abusive relationship because they grew up in that environment. It's a trend, it's a cycle they go through. And I just woke up at that point. I said, that's what's wrong with me. I am going to break this chain.
It would begin her journey from a street peddler to a street-savvy millionaire business owner.
You mean you want me to send you merchandise and you'll pay me back later? I said, exactly, that's what I meant. And he thought about it. He couldn't believe what he was hearing, but he sees that desperation in my eyes. I told him that I just got divorced and I have no money. This is the only source that I can make something out of my life. And he just thought about something real quick. Then he pulled out this scratch paper out of his pocket. Write your address down. You promise you're going to pay me back? I promise I'll send you money every time you send me merchandise. And believe it or not, did you know that he sent me merchandise every week? And I paid him back every week. And that's how I became street peddler.
Plus, her advice to young people on moving forward and living their dream.
But you can go forward and do like I did. I didn't give up my dream. I knew that if I stayed shameful and gave up my dream, I would never be where I am today.
All that and more on the next edition of Rise and Shine with Dr. Sunny Fridge. If you enjoy our programs like this, please consider making a donation of any amount at WYTV7.org to help our CBN broadcasters continue to bring you programming that inspires, uplifts, and empowers. For more information, you can find me at sunnyfridge.com. Please like my Facebook page, facebook.com/I Rise and Shine. Listen anytime to our Rise and Shine podcast on Spreaker, iHeart, Google, and many more. I'm Dr. Sunny. Remember, it's your time to rise and shine.